here we go. All right, so let's go ahead and get back on the mat, okay? We'll go ahead and start in child's pose. And I've actually got my garage door open, which is really nice. There's like some really nice fresh air coming through. So sit the hips back, okay? We'll take the forehead to the floor and just bring your hands back by your feet. So we wanna start by just opening up your lower back, and it's a gentle opener through the backs of the hips, the glutes, of course. And then just start to focus on your breathing here. Inhaling, maybe counting to 4 as you're breathing in. And then exhaling, counting to 4 as you're breathing out. And we'll be here for about 2 more rounds of that. Awesome. So let's inhale, reach the arms toward the top of the mat. And as you exhale, come forward into your tabletop. So we'll start by just rocking back and forth, okay? As you inhale, bring your bum back to your heels. And then as you exhale, we're gonna come forward. It's like you're moving into a little upward dog. So you let the hips drop toward the mat, roll your shoulders back. Inhale, draw the hips back toward your heels. Exhale, come forward, let the hips move down toward the mat. Good. Inhale, take the hips back. There's a lot of hip flexor work through this flow, so just getting them nice and open here. We'll go 2 more here. Inhale, send the hips back. Exhale, bring the hips forward. And then 1 more time. Inhale, take your hips back. Now, as you exhale, come forward here. Let's hold it as you come forward. So let the hips come down. Okay, roll those shoulders onto your back. Woo. And then just see if you can press down through the feet and lift the tops of the knees. So you'll see my legs will just lift off the mat. See, pushing through, okay, the tops of your feet, the knees lift. And then release the knees back down. So push through your hands, lift your heart, deep breath in. Exhale, press through your feet, lift your knees off the mat. Release the knees. Inhale, lift your chest. And then exhale, press back to child's pose. So you can actually keep your knees maybe a little wider this time. And then see if you can bring your chest to the floor in between the knees. Yeah. So it's just like a little bit of a heart opener there. Really starts to clear out the lungs. And then lift up through your pelvic floor, draw your belly button back. Okay, for 3. You can even rest your chin down or your forehead on the mat. 2. And 1. Inhale, come back up to hands and knees. And as you exhale, take your left hand down underneath your face and let's bring this right hand up. So we'll start to move into a bit of a spinal twist. Okay, pushing this left hand down and reach your right hand up. So focusing on the rotation here in the upper spine, that thoracic spinal twist. Take another deep breath in. And then we'll exhale, take your top hand, let's weave it underneath your body. Okay, we're gonna come all the way down onto the right side of your face. And let's walk this left hand to the top of your mat. Okay, when you get your left hand to the top of your mat, pop up to your fingertips. So it's like you're gonna make that little tent out of your left hand. And then just spiraling your gaze to look up and under the left arm. And even a little bit of a press through the back of your right hand here. Deep breath, squaring off your hips for 3, 2, and 1. Good, let's inhale, bring your left hand back to the floor. Okay, palm down. Sweep your right hand to the sky. And then release your right hand down. So before we go to the other side, let's go ahead and tuck your toes and we'll come into a downward dog. So just let your calves, especially if you went for a run today, let your calves stretch out here. You can pedal out your feet and shake your head a little bit here, yes and no. Really just finding that nice steady ujjayi breath. Beautiful. We're here for three breaths. 2, 1. Let's inhale, walk your hands back toward your feet. Okay, walk back. As you exhale, let the heels sink down and then just fold down your legs. So let's get off the arms. We'll catch opposite elbows and release your head down. So it's interesting with headstand, it's really tempting to, as you know, because you've been playing around with it, it's tempting to let a lot of weight get into the head and the neck. And the goal is to keep as much weight in the arms as possible. So I just want you to feel what this is like in your head and your neck. It's weightless. You want to keep that lightness through your neck and your head as much as possible as we start to go into those inversions. Okay, one more breath here. And then release your hands down. Let's inhale, lift halfway, and just start to straighten your spine a bit. Exhale, fold down your legs. We'll do a couple half vinyasas. Inhale, press through your feet. We'll come all the way up. Sweep your arms up. So shift your hips forward a little bit as you reach up overhead. Exhale, let's fold down over your legs. And we'll do that again. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold down your legs. Let's root to rise. Inhale, push through your feet. Sweep the arms up. Shift the hips forward. Reach up, look up. Exhale, fold down your legs. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold down your legs. And then root to rise. Inhale, push through feet. Sweep up, move the hips forward, look up. Exhale, forward fold. All right, let's inhale, look up, lift halfway, and then exhale, let's walk toward our plank pose here. So shifting the shoulders, yeah, so they come right over the wrists. Press your heels back. So let's do this. Press down through your hands, okay, especially through that first finger and thumb, like that little L shape. Really push down, round out your upper back. You're gonna really hollow out your belly. Yeah, and then just hold here. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. Let your knees come down to the floor. Very good. Let's take a couple cat-cows and just rinse that out. Inhale, arch your back. And then as you exhale, you can round it out. And what I'm gonna encourage you to do is sort of move back a little bit and just make sure you get that stretch through the entire part of the spine. Okay, inhale, arch the back. And then exhale, round it out. Go one more round. Inhale, arch the back. Exhale, let's round it out. And then we'll go ahead and flatten it out, okay? Inhale, nice long spine here. Let's take the right hand under your face. We're gonna switch that little twist here. You can take your knees a little wider if you want. Left hand comes up. So we find that thoracic spinal twist. Hands move in opposite directions. I like to think about leaning the heart back in space here. We'll take a deep breath in, reach up, exhale, weaving this left arm underneath you. We'll come all the way under until you're resting down here on the left side of your face, and we'll walk the right hand to the top of your mat. And you're gonna pop up to, so it's gonna extend up, yep, pop up to your fingertips and make that little like teepee tent out of your right hand. And then you can take this right shoulder and kind of peel it back a little bit and look under your right arm. It's challenging to do that and keep your hips square. So keep the hips square and then find as much rotation as you can. Hold the belly in, squeeze the pelvic floor, one more breath. And then we'll take that right hand back, press it onto the floor. Okay, press through, reach the left hand up. So just unravel that, exhale, left hand comes down. All right, so we'll tuck the toes, downward facing dog. And just come back to your breath. So let's step your feet as wide as your mat, but keeping the feet on the mat. Okay, so they're as wide as your mat, but you're keeping the feet on your mat. And then you're gonna spin your heels in just a tiny little bit, and we'll start to walk the hands back, all the way back. And when you get there, we'll come down into your squat. So your malasana. I always love this one, especially if you have been running and the hips are tight. So just take a moment. You might use the elbows to pry the knees open a little bit further, and just close your eyes for 5 breaths. Very good. All right, pressing the hands down, back to the floor. We'll inhale, walk towards your plank pose. Come forward, find that plank again. Get those shoulders right over your wrists, and then walk your feet in so that they're hip distance apart. And we'll take your right knee to your chest. So just hugging it in as much as you can. Okay, so squeeze the knee to your chest, squeeze your heel to your bum. Stay long through the back of your neck for 3, 2, and then step your right foot in between your hands. And then we'll let the back knee come down, okay? And then give it just a breath here. Give it a moment and let the back hip open up a little bit. And we'll find another twist. So keeping this back knee down, let's take the left hand down on the floor. So it's gonna come right underneath your left shoulder, okay? And we'll sweep the right hand up. Yeah, really good. And then just kind of notice what you feel through that right glute, through your hips, through your spine. We're here for 3, 2. As you exhale, let the top hand float back to the floor, and then we'll shift our hips immediately back. So we'll come right back and just find this little half split. Okay, draw those right toes back. It's like you want to suck that right leg back into the hip joint. Inhale, lift your head, look forward. And then let's exhale to fold straight on down the midline of the leg. And then just focusing on lengthening here through your lower back first, and then your middle back, and then your high back, and then your neck for 3, 2, and 1. Good. Inhale, lift your gaze, look forward. Exhale, travel back toward this little lunge. And we're going to tuck your back toes and lift your back knee off the mat. Yep, inhale, step forward, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. We'll root to rise. Inhale, come all the way up, sweep the arms up. And we'll exhale, take our arms behind us. Let's interlace the fingers. We'll just open the shoulders a bit here. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale, lift the collarbones. Exhale, folding down the legs. Let the head completely relax and find that weightless sensation through the head and the neck, even if you have to bend the knees a little bit to adjust, right, if the hamstrings are tight. See if you can tune in to all 4 corners of the feet. It's like feeling that frame on each foot. And then release your hands down. Inhale to look up, lifting halfway. Exhale, we're gonna step, walk, or jump back, move through a vinyasa. So getting that body a little warm now. Lowering down your way. Inhale, finding that upward dog position. Exhale, downward dog. And you'll just return to your breath. So we'll stick with that right side for just a little bit longer. Inhale, lift that right leg to the sky. And then you'll start to bend the knee, open up the hip, let the head completely relax. Gorgeous. Inhale, straighten the right leg, square off your hip. And as you exhale, come back to plank pose. So just hold it here. And then we'll take this left knee into your chest. So squeeze that knee in, like as much as you can. Get that knee to your chest. Press down through your hands. You can hollow out the belly. Squeeze the heel to your bum for 3, 2, and then step your left foot in between your hands. We'll let the back knee come down. So take a moment and just rest, opening up that back hip. And then we'll move into a twist. Right hand comes down under that right shoulder, and then we'll take that left hand up, rotate through that upper back. So it helps me to really pull the belly in here so that I'm not sort of dumping through the rib cage. Really push down firmly through your bottom hand. And we're here for 3, 2. Now, as you exhale, let this top hand float back to the floor. Okay, so let's shift it back. Inhale, take the hips back. So let's get right up over that back knee. Draw your toes back. So plug this left leg back into the hip socket. Inhale, lift your heart, look forward. Exhale, folding down that little midline there in between the legs. And then focusing on your low back. Middle back lengthens. High back, and then your neck. And then taking an inhale as you lift your head and heart, look up. Exhale, travel back to your lunge. Tuck your back toe, lift that back leg. Inhale, step forward, half lift. Exhale, fold down your legs. We'll root to rise. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, sweep the arms up. Exhale, let's just forward fold. We'll go right back down into it. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, Vinyasa, step walker, jump back. And just flow through that upward facing chest. And downward facing chest. Take a beat, take a breath. All right, left leg, inhale, lifting that up, up, high to the sky. Yep, bend the knee, open up the hip. Relax the head. And then as we inhale, straighten your left leg, square off your hip. And as you exhale, come toward your plank pose. Okay, so just take a moment to hold your plank. Okay, and then as we exhale, we're actually gonna press right back to downward facing dog. And then taking this right knee, and we're gonna hug the right knee into your chest. So the challenge here is to stay in your downward facing dog. It's like you're in down dog. You're gonna take your right knee into your chest and hug your right heel into your right butt cheek and stay in that downward dog shape. Now hold it, 3, 2, 1. As you inhale, come forward. Okay, keep this right knee hugging into your chest. Tap your right knee to your right shoulder. And then exhale, bring it back, same. That funky little down dog. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, come forward, tap your right knee to your tricep. Exhale, bring it back. Good, and then release your right foot down, okay? And we'll come down to your knees. Okay, so let's come into our first little shoulder opener from the floor. So finding elbow pose, and you wanna wrap opposite biceps, okay? Wrap opposite elbows, and then reset your hands down so they're nice and flat. Tuck your toes, and come into your dolphin pose. So it's downward dog on the elbows. And you can start by looking in between the hands. And then you can actually, if it feels okay, you can relax the neck. And I just want you to start to notice what you're feeling through your biceps, your shoulders, really breathing a lot here into the space across the upper back. Now, if things are awkward, you can bend your knees a little bit. And then what you want to do is try to get your feet to walk a little bit up closer toward your elbows. So we try to get the tailbone directly over the head. We're here for 3. Press your elbows down, down into the ground. 2. And then slowly inhale, walk your feet back. Like all the way back towards the edge, back edge of your mat. Shift forward into your elbow plank and then hold it here. Woo, all right, nice job. We're here for 3, 2. Now as you exhale, let your knees come down and then let your hips come down. So what I wanna do with this flow is we'll do like a really active pose and then we'll stretch it out. Okay, so that was like our yang right there. Let's take a Sphinx pose. So you're still here on your elbows. Draw your elbows back, lift your chest, and see if you can move your pubic bone into the mat. Like roll it forward. Yeah. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna angle your hands out a little bit, pop up to your fingertips, and then see if you can press yourself up a little, just a little higher, maybe a lot higher if that feels okay in your lower back. Root your pubic bone into the ground. One more inhale. Exhale, lower down. Okay, so we'll take your left, I'm gonna move my mic for a second. Take your left hand underneath your left shoulder and extend your right arm out to the side. So in a nice T shape. Okay, press through your left hand, roll onto the right side of your body, stack your left foot on top of your right. And then we'll bend this top knee. So left knee is gonna bend, and we're gonna step the left foot behind the right leg. And I like to flex my right foot and keep that bottom leg super active. And you're gonna sort of roll your hips to the left until they're almost facing straight to the sky. Notice if you get shortness of breath at all, be mindful to lengthen your breath here, especially like really breathing up into the high lungs, the collarbones. And then just slowly come back to your belly. And then we're actually just gonna come right into the other side. So draw the right hand to come underneath the right shoulder. Extend the left arm off to the side. You can rest onto the left side of your face and then use that right hand to press your way over onto your left side. Yep, bend the top knee, step behind that straight leg. And then just breathe up, up into those high lungs. Awesome. Inhale, slowly come back toward your belly. And then as you exhale, just bringing those hands right down underneath your shoulders. We'll come into our upward dog from here. So you want to slide through, just like we kind of did through that warm up. Lift the knees off the mat. And then exhale up and over the toes back to downward facing dog. Yeah, nice. Woo, and then just take a nice deep breath in and a long breath out. Okay, so let's hover this left knee into the chest. So same, stay in your downward dog position. Pull the left knee into your chest and then hug your left heel towards your bum. And then stay in that down dog shape. Squeeze the knee in, squeeze the heel in, hold it here for 3, 2, 1. Let's inhale, travel forward, tap this left knee to your left upper arm. And as you exhale, travel back, funky little down dog. Let's do it again. Inhale, come forward, tap your knee to your tricep. Exhale, moving back. One more time. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, bring it back. And then release that foot down. Whew, okay, so let's come down to your knees again. Similar to what we did just earlier, but a little different. So let's wrap the opposite elbows again. And this time we're gonna interlace your fingers. So you did this in Monday's workout, okay? So let's find that light cupping of the hands behind the head. So bringing the crown of the head to the floor. There's a light cupping behind the head. So you've got to really make sure those elbows stay shoulder distance apart. Let's tuck the toes, and we're actually gonna lift into this little down dog. So your head is on the ground, but it's very tempting to put a lot of weight into your head. So let's do this. Press through your forearms and get your head all the way off the ground. Like actually push through your forearms so much that your head comes off. Yes, the ground. Holding here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Take a moment to release your knees down. And then just sit back onto your heels. So we're going to try that again. And we're going to do it with the same little knee hugging into the chest that we do in our down dog, okay? So this will start setting us up to actually go into that inversion. So let's do it one more time. Come down, wrap opposite biceps, opposite elbows, interlace your fingers, bring the crown of the head to the mat, and then lightly cup the back of your head. When you're ready, you're going to tuck your toes, keep your head on the ground, lift your hips. Now, try to walk your toes so close to your elbows that your tailbone is directly above your head. And then push so much into your forearms that you have hardly any weight at all in your head, like very little weight. And then hug your right knee into your chest, hug your right heel into your bum, and hold. 3, 2, 1. Release your right foot to the ground. Hug your left knee into your chest, hug your left heel into your bum, and hold. 3. Notice if you're getting heavy in your head, push down to your elbows. 2, and 1. Release the foot, and then let's just let the knees come down, and just come into child's pose. So this is actually the counter pose for headstand. It releases the pressure in your neck. And you can bring your hands wherever you want. I usually bring them by my feet to rest the shoulders. Nice deep breath in, long breath out. Okay, so let's actually come back to downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, Adho Mukha. So this will feel really good after all of that because that's a lot of hip flexor stuff. Let's inhale, sweep your right leg to the sky. And as you exhale, bend your knee, open your hip, and let's actually flip the dog. So we'll come over into your wild thing. Find that funky back bend. Be mindful of your shoulders. And then we'll inhale, bring yourself back towards your three-legged dog. Sweep your right leg to the sky. And as you exhale, step in between your hands. So stay here. Inhale, sweep your hands overhead. So you're gonna keep your back knee off the floor. Whew. Nice job. Draw the right hip back. Hands are up overhead. Good. So let's take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, come forward. So actually, before we do that, press your palms to press up toward the ceiling. It's like you're gonna make a handprint on the ceiling. Okay, hold the hands like that. Squeeze the triceps. Inhale, step through. Pull this left knee all the way up into your chest. Hug the knee into your chest. Squeeze the heel into your bum. Pull your belly button in. Push down through your standing foot and press your hands up for 3, 2, 1, and release the foot. Whew. And release the hands. So just take a moment, right? That's a lot of work. Like even though we're moving really slow, so many little muscles. So just let the hands relax, take a breath. My hip flexors are so sore this week from doing so much of this every day. It's a good thing though. I mean, it strengthens you in crazy, wild ways, but it's a lot of work. All right, just find a breath here. So let's counterbalance that. Take the feet together. I'll face the side so you can see my hips. So inhale, sweep the arms up over your head. Hook your thumbs above your head. You know, hook your thumbs and then start to move your hips forward. And so you'll notice it gets tempting to move your weight into your toes. Keep your weight in your heels. Move your hips forward. Keep your weight in your heels. One more time, move your hips forward. Keep your weight in your heels. You can kind of pull on your thumbs. Spread your chest open, lift your collarbones, look up. If it feels okay, start to lean back, like draw a line across the ceiling with your eyes toward the back of the room. And then maybe drop your head back. Inhale, come back to your standing position. Exhale, release the thumbs, and let's forward fold. Ooh, let's inhale, lift halfway. And as you exhale, step, walker, jump back, take your vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing chest. And as you exhale, downward facing chest. Stay here, take a breath. Beautiful, okay. So before we go to that left side, let's come back to your knees. So I want to address two things here. I want to address where is the eye gaze when we're in our inversion. And then I also want to show you guys something really safe as far as getting up into your headstand without, it's not as scary. So let's set up same. Okay, elbows come down. We're going to find that little wrapping of the opposite arm so we make sure that our arms are shoulder distance apart. Interlace the fingers, make that little cup. Bring the crown of your head down to the floor and lightly cup the back of your head. Hang on, let me move my mic so that you can, there we go, okay. So once you're feeling good here, we tuck the toes, we start to lift the hips. And then you wanna walk your feet as close in as possible. So my gaze is right at the end of my mat. So I look right to like the center edge of the back of my mat, okay? Let's hug this right heel into your bum, hug your right knee into your chest. Now see if you can start to roll up to your left tippy toes and maybe just hover that foot off the ground. So there's like a little bit of a, you can do that a couple times, just kind of roll through that foot. If you start getting heavy in your head, press more through your elbows or come out. See if you can hover this bottom foot. And then release the right foot. Let's come out for a moment before we go to the other side. Come into your child's pose. So taking those hands back and just let your shoulders rest. Awesome. Okay, let's do that again. Let's come to sit up here on the heels. So are you understanding that? Give me a thumbs up if you are. Good, okay, cool. So let's try that again. We'll do it on the other side. Let's set it up. Coming onto the forearms, we wrap the arms, all is good. Interlace the fingers, crown of the head comes to the mat. We lightly cup the back of the head. We put a lot of pressure there into the arms and we tuck the toes, walking your toes as close up to the arms as possible. So we get the hips over the shoulders, hug the left knee into the chest. Gaze right back to the center of the back of your mat and then start to roll through the tippy toes here on the right foot and you can lift. I don't know if I did the opposite. Do whatever the opposite is here, I can't remember. Okay, and then come on down. Maybe roll a couple times there through that foot. Just see if you can hover those toes off the ground. A little bit longer here. Press through the forearms. And then release. Your knees, sit your butt back, lengthen your spine, lengthen your neck, bring your forehead to the ground, and take your hands back by your feet. So I purposely roll my forehead into the mat here and get a lot of length in the back of my neck because I feel a little compression there when I come out of headstand. And I always suggest if you have any neck stuff, it's best to avoid headstand until your neck stuff is resolved. Okay, so let's come back to downward facing dog. Just enjoy this stretch here for a moment and find your breath. We'll inhale, lift your left leg up, up, nice and high. Let's bend the knee, open the hip, and we're gonna take that wild thing if you want, you don't have to. We'll flip that dog there, but it feels so good after all that. And then just nice and easy, we'll start to come back, find that three-legged dog. Deep breath in. Exhale, you're gonna step in between your hands. Whew. I always pause for a moment, kind of get my breath. When you're ready, inhale, sweep the arms up, and then we'll just find our balance. Not a whole lot of leg work in the traditional sense through this flow, but a lot of thigh and hip flexor work, even though we're on our hands. All right, so taking a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, flip the palms to face up. Start to press the palms toward the ceiling. Squeeze your triceps, pull your belly in. And as you inhale, step the right knee through. Hug it up, up, up to your chest. This is actually handstand position, okay? So hug the knee into your chest. Squeeze your heel back. Good, stay with me. Press strong through your bottom foot for 3, 2, exhale. Just release everything. Okay, release the foot, release the hands. So what we're doing there is we're creating that muscle memory. I'm gonna show you why here in a second. Take your time to find your breath. All right, we'll do a little bit of a different standing back bend. Take your feet together. We'll inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Interlace your fingers above your head this time. Steeple just that first finger. Looks like a little like handgun. So same concept here. You're gonna inhale, get up super tall, move your hips forward, get your weight into your heels. Just keep repeating that. Get up tall, move your hips forward, get your weight into your heels. Get up tall, move your hips forward, get your weight into your heels, and then start to look up, and then maybe drop your head back. Inhale, come all the way back up to stand. Exhale, forward fold. Let's inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step, walk, jump back, take your vinyasa. Okay, so here's where that muscle memory is gonna come in. So let me show you what this looks like first. And then it's very easy, but I'll just show you and then you can kind of play around with it. So that little shape that we just made when we were standing, right? With your hands pressing toward the ceiling, knee into the chest. We're gonna do that here. So I'll show you first and then I'll tell you why. So we step 1 foot forward. We're gonna hug that knee into the chest as we kick the other leg up. So the thing about handstand, we usually fall because we overarch, right? We overarch our back. It also makes people afraid that they're gonna fall out. So when you hug your knee into your chest, it makes it almost impossible to arch your back, all right? So you're coming into your down dog. You're gonna step 1 foot forward. You are gonna push off that foot. You're gonna kick the back leg up, hug the knee into the chest. And so just kind of play around with that. Okay, just work with the same foot, hugging it into the chest. And then you're just gonna attempt to get your hips right up over your shoulders. So like I almost fell over there, but when I hugged my knee into my chest, it took the arch out of my back. Good, all right, so let's just take a little rest because that's a lot of work. We're gonna do that on the other side, and then we're gonna stretch out the hips. Okay, let's rest. Child's pose. If your shoulders are tired like mine, you might like to take your hands back by your feet, or sometimes it's nice to open the arms up into like this little scarecrow position. Sweet. Okay, let's try it again. Other side. Come back to down dog. This is like the best handstand trick. Like if you just practice this all the time, you'll have your handstand in no time. So other leg, so the coordination is gonna have to shift a little bit, is gonna step up the mat. You're gonna push through that foot, kick the back leg up, but make sure you hug that bottom knee into your chest. And then just try that. Good. Nice. Go a couple more. Really hug that knee into the chest, because if the knee doesn't come into the chest, if it goes a little higher, you can still arch the back. Woo. So play until you feel done, and then you'll rest. Nice. All right, let's rest. Find that child's pose. I feel like the main thing with most of these, you know, especially inversions, is it's just creating that muscle memory. Just figuring out what muscles to use and engage. Okay, so I'll say one more thing about a handstand. Let's come up to seat, and then we'll come into our hip openers. So whenever you come into a handstand, you're gonna be fighting the urge to either fall back or fall out, okay? You're fighting the urge either way. This is actually the same thing with the headstand. You've got to figure out how to balance your weight out from the front and the back of your body. So if you're going to fall toward the back bend, that's when you're gonna push a lot through your fingertips. So sometimes I'll just do these little drills where I'll come forward and then use my fingertips to push back, okay? And the opposite is like if you're gonna fall back this way out of your headstand or your handstand, you're gonna have to really engage your triceps. So in order to do that, you've gotta kind of bend your elbows a little bit. Let me see if I can show you. See how I bend the elbows, and it helps me from falling forward, and then I press through the fingertips. So there's a lot of navigation through the hands. Okay, just want to kind of point that out. So when you're practicing, remember that, okay, with your hands. All right, so let's come back into down dog. Woo, inhale, right leg to the sky. And let's come right into pigeon pose. Exhale, bring it through. So if you have knee stuff, pigeon, not such a good thing to do, coming onto your back for figure four. Instead, inhale, let's lift the chest up. So feel free to fold whenever you want. If you guys are practicing with me often, you know that I always like to stay here a little bit longer than most teachers. It helps really open up that back leg. And then you can fold when you're ready. Maybe coming all the way forehead to ground. Good, let's inhale, come back up to your hand. We're gonna do a very simple exit here. Exhale, tuck your toes, step right back to downward facing dog, and then we're gonna rinse it out. Inhale, come to your plank pose. Exhale, lower down chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath. And then we'll take that left leg up. Inhale, sweeping left leg to sky. Exhale, let's bring it through for a pigeon pose. We'll square off the hips. Sit up nice and tall. Find that good hip alignment. So hips are side by side. And when you're ready, you can take that fold. Couple more breaths here. So we'll just slowly start to come back up to your hands. Take a deep breath in. And then as we exhale, we'll tuck your back toes. Go ahead and take an easy step back to your down dog. We'll move through one more vinyasa. Inhale, coming forward into your plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Whew. All right, so we'll come through to a seat. You can inhale to look forward and either step, walk, maybe just a little hop, coming down to a seat. And we're gonna lie down onto our backs. So let's take a back bend here. Let's actually go 2 rounds of back bends. We'll do a low bridge and then maybe a high bridge if you're up for that. Okay, hands by your hips, feet hip distance apart. Inhale, press through your feet, press through your hands, elevate up through your hips, lifting the low back, middle back off the ground, and then walk your shoulders under you, interlace your fingers, and then roll your shoulders into the mat. Press your triceps into the mat. Good. Move the knees forward, hips up, heart back. And then slowly let the hips lower down. Let's take the feet together. Knees fall out wide, little resting butterfly. Let's just take the arms out to the side, flip the palms up, close the eyes. And then we'll go one more back bend. So either we do that low bridge again, or we set the feet up the same, but we bring our hands by the ears. So if this is available, I highly recommend it. I call it like the master integration pose. It kind of ties everything together. Only if your body's up for it, okay? When you're ready, inhale, lift up, halfway or all the way. Good. And then same, knees move forward, hips move up, heart moves back. Relax your head and neck. We're here for 5. Stay breathing. 4, 3, a little bit longer. 2, and 1. Let's bring it down. Just let your back come down nice and flat, nice and flat, nice and flat. Just pause here. And then we're gonna take, I just caught my husband crawling under the garage. Okay, we're gonna take our feet up and catch a hold of your feet, catch a hold of the outsides of your feet, and then start to pull the knees down. So we're coming into happy baby. That would have been an easier way to say it. Pull the knees down, flatten out your back. Plug your belly button into your spine. And then if it feels good, like I always love to straighten out one leg and then maybe the other leg, maybe just switching from right to left. Ooh. Maybe both legs. And then we'll go ahead and hug the knees into your chest for a moment. Give yourself a little rock, okay? From left and right, just massage out your sacrum here. And then we're actually gonna come into a twist. So let's take that left leg all the way down your mat. Your left leg is long. You're gonna keep this right knee. You'll take it into the left hand and then bring it across your body for a twist and reach your right hand out to the side. Let's melt the right shoulder blade down and look toward that hand. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and then inhale, come all the way back to center. I like to release the right foot down and then pull the left foot up, extend the right leg down the mat, and then hug your left knee into your chest. Take a deep breath in, catch the left knee into your right hand and pull it across your body. Left hand reaches in the opposite direction. Really plug that belly button back to protect that lower lumbar spine. Good. Inhale, let's come right back to center. And then exhale, release your left foot down. And we'll do one more little thing here. Let's take the legs up over us. So it's like we're gonna set up for shoulder stand. So this gives everyone the option if you wanna stay here in your candlestick, okay, your little restorative inversion, a great place to hang out. If you want that full shoulder stand, you'll start to roll the hips up. Bring your hands underneath your hips and then start to walk your hands up your back toward your shoulders. So sometimes I've got to take my feet down and kind of adjust and get my arms under and then bring the feet back up. Keeping all the weight through the upper back and the arms. And then we'll just slowly let the feet come down, down, down toward the back of your mat, toenail side edge of the foot. If the feet touch, only if the feet touch, interlace your fingers, getting your shoulders onto your back. And then maybe bend the knees and let the knees fall toward the ears, Karni Pidasana. And then we'll slowly roll out one vertebra at a time, coming all the way back toward the floor. Last posture here, slide your hands under your bum. Make sure your palms are facing down. Extend the legs forward. Point the toes, activate the legs. Push down through the elbows, lift up through your chest, and drop your head back. Fish pose. Good, inhale, releasing your head. Woo. Exhale, releasing your hands. And I always like to do one little kind of a twist here, an unofficial twist with the knees as wide as your mat, feet as wide as your mat, little windshield wiper, left and right. And then we'll rest into our Shavasana. So let those legs go down, let the palms face up. We're just gonna be here for about a minute. And I'll call you back very soon. Let yourself rest. So let's go ahead and take a nice deep breath in, reach the arms back overhead. Take that big full body stretch. And then as you exhale, hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. And we'll roll over onto the right side of your body. There it is. And then just slowly press your way up to a seat. So we'll come into this easy seated pose and just take a moment to close your eyes and just really feeling the effects of your practice. Like there's so many places and parts and ways that we can move in the body, just depending on what the focus is. We'll take our palms together. So let's bring the hands to the heart here, and we'll close it out with a sound of Om. Let's take a deep breath in. And let's just bow our heads. Just a simple bow of gratitude, blessing this day, pronouncing it good. We say thank you and namaste.